Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon everyday earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit RayconGlobal.com. That's RayconGlobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
You got B3 Picks here at it again, proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight or during the fight betting on the beautiful sport of boxing. Join now on $10 a week or $25 a month by visiting B3BoxingPicks.com for the membership. Also follow me on all socials at B3BoxingPicks. Follow my YouTube, Not Another Boxing channel, presented by B3 Picks. And shout out to the People's Network, the one and only Sports Talk Network. Let's go green.
Yo, hold on one second. Yo, what's up? It's your boy, BVO Sports TV, man. I'm in the house with my man, Bernard Hackett. And of course, I'm with my man. They made a song about it, man. It's called Run Joe. Hey, man, it's about my man, Brother Bernard. You know, him, man, he was getting money behind the door, man. You know, I know the rest of the song, man. But we got a good interview today. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Hold on one second, we're about to get going. But I can't bring Dub on top play his drum.
For the children. I ain't got to talk about it.
Can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Vernell man, did you mean he's mine?
All right, so we got my man, Brother Bernard in the house. What's going on, Barnell? You hear me?
Salute to my brother Sombero in the building. One of the most beloved brothers that I have out there. Shout out to Coach Team Hackett. Let me say it that way. Coach B Team Hackett. Salute to the great coach out there, man. Much love and respect to y'all.
All right. So we got to talk about this, man. What did you think about what we seen? It was against a cab driver, but what did you think about seeing Storm and Norman beat that brother to death? What did you think about that? You hear me, Coach?
Me, BVO? Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I didn't know you was talking to me.
Yeah.
I thought you did a great job. I mean, you can only beat who they put in front of you. And it's different if Brian Norman didn't have a world title. So he's not picking who he wants to fight. The promoters put whoever they're going to fight in front of him. And he did what he had to do. He disposed of the person that they put in front of him. So we can't do anything but give him kudos for that. He faced the man. He stopped him impressively. And he did it in his country. So, nothing but shout out to Brian Norman and his team.
So speaking of that, man, I got to ask you this now. We all know Canelo has probably been the best since Floyd left. What do you think about Terence Crawford stepping to and actually getting in Canelo's face? I'll never seen that before. What do you think about that?
Bud Crawford don't have no fear. Bud Crawford not scared of Canelo. I think a lot of opponents in the past, before they even got to the fight, they were either in awe, they over-respected, or they were in fear of Canelo. And rightfully so. Canelo is that good. But Bud understands that I'm just as good. When you talk about the top 5 fighters in the world, both of them will be in it. When you talk about the top 3, both of them will be in it. You know, and I think when you get to that point, there's no fear level that either one of them have. But I think Bud was trying to establish, if you didn't know, you know, I don't have any fear.
Speaking of that, you know what that reminded me of? The way Bud was acting. It kind of reminded me of your son. He's a bully, man. He's a bully.
I mean, you got to be that. I think when my son and Pete had their interaction, Pete was looking at my son as a kid, which he rightfully showed. He was very young. But Jaleel is one of those. He's one of those guys. If you know him, all the guys in boxing, they say, "Hey, he a different type of dog," and they know. So when that happened, Jaleel was just trying to not. I don't think he was trying to gain a one up on Pete. I think he was more or less in the mindset of, Pete, I'm your peer. I'm not your junior. So respect me as that. So I think that's what it was. And when those guys get to that point, when you talk about Canelo, Bud Crawford pushing each other, I think it's more to sell a fight because both of them have been to the mountaintop against some of the best in the world. And once you've been there, hey, it's like Ric Flair. You can wear a suit to the ring. When it's time to put action in, you got your stuff on.
So I got to ask you this before I bring the brothers on. Now, the thing that got me about Bud, it looked like Bud really wanted to hurt Canelo. I've never seen nobody look at Canelo and say, "I'm gonna hurt him." That was
when two fighters decide definitive contracts to fight each other, if they don't have the mindset of "I'm going to hurt you," then I want to ask him what he thought this was. We're in a business where violence is understood. It's ag sport. It's expected. So anything less than that, I'm asking, why are you here?
Go ahead, Dub. I know you want to go ahead, and then we're gonna bring Free. Go ahead, Dub.
So, Coach, man. Oh man, y'all gotta go on mute. Y'all out of order.
No, that's Coach. That's Coach. That's
Okay,
Coach background. You know the DC boys, man. You gotta watch them.
So check this out, Coach. Check this out, man. We had knockout of the year possibly with Junior this weekend, but the fight that caught my attention the most, and I think it would have something to do with your son, was the Truck Simpson versus Jahai Tucker fight. I thought that was an incredible fight. You know what I'm saying? Both of them at a young age, they went and dogged it out in there. Jahai came out on top, you know what I'm saying? No slight to Truck, though, because I thought he fought a good fight, too. No back down, you know what I'm saying? What was your impression of that fight, and are you looking forward to getting one of them in the ring soon?
My impression of the fight, honestly, was you saw two young dogs willing to fight each other. Now, what I don't want to happen is boxing don't appreciate or reward them for that, because it's impossible to get young fighters to get in the ring with each other when they still saying, "I'm on the come up." So in order for boxing to actually be at the level we want it, we got to reward young fighters for being willing to fight, not throw them on the scrap pile. Jahai Tucker won. At the end of the day, he won. I think Jahai Tucker, his motor just went a little faster. I think Truck did a very exceptional job, but Jahai Tucker motor just went fast. I think it was an out hustle situation. But I thought it was a very good fight. I thought they both stuck to their game plans and listened to their teams. Now, if we want to, and I'm going to throw this back at all these podcasts, including yourself, BVO, if you want to reward them, don't let fighters disappear into obscurity when they lose, because y'all just help the media push them out of the scene, and you make more fighters scared to step up. You got to keep them in the forefront. I respect what you do. You always talk about us. You always keep us there. But all of these young fighters need that. And when they beat people like that, then you have to require other young up-and-coming talent to be willing to fight him. Jahai Tucker deserved a big fight against another young up-and-comer or against a veteran. He worked for it. But don't put him on the shelf. Don't put Truck on the shelf. Both of them guys are willing to fight, and they went in there willing to fight. Like I tell you all the time, BVO, one thing I tell you is always reign true. Only people you see jumping out there to talk about Jaleel is veterans. You don't see none of these young, supposed to be prospects up and coming, because they know better. But they know not just that Jaleel will put hands on them. They know that if you lose, you go to the back of the line. These promoters got to be made to say that kid fought a good fight. He didn't go in there and lay down. Rebuild them. How you scrapping 25-year-old fighters? How is you throwing them on a scrap? And I'm going to be the first to tell you this. Let's say Jahai Tucker. Let's use him because he won.
Right.
He's not, to me, trying to get ready for a Charlo fight. He's not trying to get ready for a Fedor fight. He's looking in his era. He's looking at the next generation of great champions. One of the young champions who I think will be great, Vito Mielnicki. He's a hell of a fighter.
Yeah.
That's where Shorty trying to go to next. One of those level fighters. For same with my son. We ain't trying to keep beating guys that y'all want to call tomato cans. When they not trying to just fight tomato cans, they'll fight quality guys. Make the money right and give it to them. If you ask a young fighter, I use my son. If you ask a young fighter like Jaleel to go in there and fight a fighter at a level of Pete Dobson, who was a quality guy just coming off a kind of bench 12-round loss, you gotta pay him. You gotta pay him like. I look at guys like Eddie. I look at guys like Eddie Hearns who are giving young fighters opportunities. And if you lose, he'll bring you back. Eddie Hearns ain't throw my son on no scrap pile. My son is still with Matthew. Matthew's still saying, "Hey, what y'all want to do next?" That's how all these promoters should do. Don't scrap pile these kids because they had a loss before they was 25. When you as a promoter are asking them to dare to be great, if you ask them to be great, then stand behind them when they have a bad night. Everybody's not going to be Floyd. Everybody's not going to be Manny Pacquiao. Everybody's not going to be the next Earl Spence. Some guys will take losses en route to becoming champions. But when you think about it, Lorenzo Simpson, my son, Jahai Tucker, Vito Mielnicki, Xander Zayas, all of them is in the same generation. So until you put them in the ring, you can't say this kid he's done at 25. You can't say that. Put him in the ring with the people of his generation, who y'all call the next step. Ring Magazine put a great thing up in their Instagram. Said these are the next young talents that boxing is going to be in their hands. If that's the case, if there's a tier one, what does that mean? It has to be a what? A tier two. So if you think the Chuck Simpsons, the Jahai Tuckers, the Jaleel Hackett, if you think those are tier two guys, and y'all got this much faith in the Xander Zayases, the Kermel Motons, the Abdullah Masons, make them fight the tier two guys, the guys who they seen in the amateurs, the guys who their teams are saying, we don't want to fight them before you throw a 25-year-old to the scrap pile.
That's a good point. I think I've been guilty of that myself.
And just real quick, Jay, going off your point, Coach. Like I said from the beginning, I think both of these guys deserve a ton of credit because I think we can see them in the ring. You know what I'm saying? They have a couple fights, so we can see them in the ring again. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be just as fiery because I think they beat a lot of those guys. But the whole tier one, tier two thing, who's to say what tier you're on until you get into the ring with a fighter?
But listen to this, Coach. Listen to this. I agree 100% with you. But I'm letting the powers that be take the lead. They say these are the tier one guys of the next generation. Make them fight the tier twos. Make them fight the tier twos. Remember when Matchroom and Queensbury did their 5v5?
Yeah.
That's what they gotta do. They put quality young fighters versus quality young fighters. If you think your guys is better than these tier two guys, put your money where your mouth is. Don't do this. Don't do this crazy thing. I think in boxing history, every fighter will say Top Rank is the best at building a fight. They'll say the Top Rank is the best at building. So Top Rank did an amazing job. I respect Xander Zayas and his team. But if he is the guy that you think is that guy, put him in a ring against Jaleel. That's their same generation. If you think Abdullah Mason is that guy, put him in the ring with the next young fighter of his generation. If you think Emilio Vargas, I got respect for all of them. Just when you start saying that this is the next generation in their hands, make them fight somebody. And if you maneuver them well to get them to a world title, then they get the exception. But I'm gonna say why I say that. Brian Norman, he a champion. He fought champion level guy. He beat him. Me and Brian Norman father cool. I love to fight Brian Norman in the future. But guess what? He can look at me and say, "Hey, Slim, now you can say wait in line because I'm a world champion." But you can't say if a guy got 11 fights and no belt, and he got 11 fights and no belt, or they got these little mid-range titles, wait your turn. We both in the same line.
Hey, Coach, real quick, last question before I pass this thing. I got to ask this. You brought up Vito Milnicki earlier. He had a really good performance this past weekend as well. What I
Shout out
noticed
to him.
the brother got in, and I say this respectfully, the brother got in the ring with the IBF, the WBO, the WBA, and the WBC interim champion. The man is the undisputed interim champion right now. When does the undisputed interim champion actually start to get a fight?
When it's time, when his team say it's time, when the promoter say it's time, when the governing body say it's time. Vito got the belts that he got. He has to defend what he has. Because guess what? If I'm in that same situation, I'm telling everybody the same thing. We got to defend what we got. But if they offer us the opportunity to fight the next big guy, like I'm sure they offered to Vito, he gonna either step up or step out of the way. I love what the WBA said. If you get offered a title shot and you turn it down, then you drop out there ranking. If you're a champion, you get stripped. We don't know. We don't get to pick. We don't have a crystal ball. When your number is called, you got to stand on deck. Simple as that. That go for anybody. My son included.
How difficult is that not to have and have to rely on these sanctioning bodies, these promoters? How difficult is it to really get to where you want to go when you have to rely on somebody else who a lot of times don't know nearly as much about boxing as, in my personal opinion, as some of us that watch it on a regular basis? How frustrating is that?
I'm more frustrated at you all as media because y'all control the narrative. Fans, I love fans, but the average fan is going off the media. So if they going off the media, they cheat. And if the media is pushing a certain guy, the governing bodies see it and they can make money with him, that guy gonna get his chance. Look at Ryan Garcia. Ryan ain't never held a world title, but he done made what, $30-40 million? So once again, it's because the media built him up. The media and Golden Boy kept pushing him to the forefront. The media and Golden Boy maneuvered him right. Name 3 people he fought. Name 3, other than Devin and Tank. Other than Devin and Tank, name 3 people Ryan fought.
Luke
other
Campbell,
than Devin and Tank. Okay. Okay.
The Dominican dude that he knocked out.
Now you can't say the Dominican dude. I need a name. You know how many Dominican dudes on the planet?
Javier Fortuna, Luke Campbell.
So when you name those guys, listen, when you name those guys, are those guys that he should have fought and made $30 million?
No.
Because if so, tell me other guys that fought him and didn't make $30 million. So once again, he was maneuvered right. He was maneuvered properly. They got him in position. The media backed what he was selling, and he would put him in position to make money. Y'all want fight? Let me tell you something about this. My son want to be a world champion. He want to be a world champion. But you know, you got fighters now that just want to be millionaires. And y'all supporting the concept of I just want to be a millionaire when this game was built on world champions. How you get a $20 million fight and no belt on the line?
Well,
and guess what? Y'all cover it. Y'all keep covering it.
I want to ask you this though. I want to ask you this though, because speaking about what you're saying, is that why we don't see certain people challenge themselves because they worried about what the fans will say? Because
why challenge yourself if I'm gonna get 20 million regardless? Why challenge yourself if I'm gonna get 5 million? Why challenge yourself if you're gonna get 3 million? Let me tell you the dude that I think challenged himself in the most recent time from interviews that he did. Lamont Roach. He said, Slim, I didn't get no millions for this. I didn't get $1 million. But he said, I took a chance to be great, to fight the best fighter in the world. We got to reward that. How many times y'all talk about him after the first 8 days?
About Lamont Roach?
Yep. How many times y'all talk about him after the first 8 days of him and Tank's fight?
Not much. I didn't.
Thank you. I answered the question. I answered the question.
Well, you know,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But if I ask you the same question in reference to his opponent, Tank, y'all have talked about him at least 100 times since the 8 days after. Reward the man. Y'all talk about Ryan and Devin. And Devin the duck. Devin is a duck. Devin won't fight nobody. Bill has done an amazing job moving him along. I do not take nothing from that. I can't stand them, but I give credit and respect where it's due. But y'all keep hyping this nigga up like he can really do something. You know this nigga can't punch nobody. You know he can't hurt my 3-year-old grandson on a bad day. But y'all keep saying he deserved. But y'all keep saying he deserved these fights. This nigga ran in his last fight. They got fucked up by Ryan. But y'all
We
still
never
saying he
seen him
just
fight like that, coach. We never seen Black Jesus fight like that.
why? When? What you mean?
His last fight
When,
with Jose Ramirez, I never seen him fight like that.
but you wasn't looking? You must be blind. You must be watching your boxing in Braille.
You go.
He had this the same dude that had a face-to-face with Rougarou. And he said, you ain't knocked out nobody. Rougarou looked at him and said, who you knocked out? They both started laughing. They both started laughing. Come on, man. Cut it. Cut it. That's why
You
I
ice
tell you.
cold, man. You ice cold.
No, I don't blame fighters for what they do. I blame media for what they do. Because you all support guys who are refusing to fight. But once again, that you create views. I want y'all to understand. You know that you create views. Fighters don't create views for your show. You create views for fighters. That
Hey, this what's good, coach? So this is B3, and I just,
He loved Devin too,
I
coach.
I love you. I love you and your son and what y'all doing. And we've been going back and forth about Devin. I just gotta come out and say this. The face of boxing, Tank Davis, did say Devin is fighting guys. He made a point of emphasis to say Devin is fighting guys. And the fact that he did get the Lomachenko fight before Loma retired, I think Devin really stamped himself. Even Hitchens had to come out of his mouth verbally and say Devin is the guy.
ain't they
So
trying to get ain't they both trying to get fights that with Devin? And once again, let's look at this realistically. They not going after him because he a tough fight. They going after him because he is no threat to them. He's no threat to them. Do you think if Tank or Hitchens, I use both of them, do you think if either one of them was the guy in the ring with him his last fight and fought the same way, that Devin would have got a W?
No. No.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because once again, you all have been allowed to be bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, run amok by these promoters who tell y'all who to make important. They tell y'all who to make important. They tell y'all who to make important. This ain't new to boxing. Look how long Marvin Hagler argued about that shit. Why am I in the shadows? And I done defended my belt 10 times. But y'all got me in the shadow of a man who was retired. At the time, Ray was retired. Ray came out of retirement.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm not mad at a promoter because they done figured out the matrix of how to pimp media. I'm mad at media for still playing the role as the host.
I'm gonna
Media
say
did.
this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna bring my brother Ephraim in. One thing I'll tell you is this, Brother Bernard. Out of all the people I talk to that's in boxing, I would say you are like one in a million. They don't, they're not going to meet dudes who, and I would say, of course, my man Brian Singer as well. But you don't really meet guys that's really solid men that's in this sport, and you know that, man. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to be objective and still talk to the fighters as well, which is I think is a tough thing. What would you say to that?
That ain't hard, and that's total fiction. You can call Coach Bo. You can call Coach Bozy and get him on at any time. He gonna tell you the truth. You can get Calvin and Kenny on anytime. They gonna tell you the truth. You can get me on anytime. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You can get Lamont Roachbob on anytime. It's a bunch of them that you can get on, and they'll tell the truth. Is it that they don't tell the truth, or you don't want to hear the truth? Because the lie is easier to swallow than the truth.
Go
A
ahead, D
lie.
Free. I know you got something for Coach, man. Go ahead, D Free.
Yeah, nah. I mean, we saw Tucker, we saw Truck, and we saw Vito fight this past weekend. Are you looking to get your son in there with one of these guys in the near future?
Nope. Nope. We campaigning at 54. We moving up to
Oh, that's right. That's
54.
right. Y'all at 54. I'm thinking y'all at 60. That's right. Y'all at
Nah,
54.
nah, we get campaign at 54. So I'm not looking at I look at fights that are not in my son's division for entertainment. I look at fights in my son's division because I'm dissecting. And I look at the elder statesmen in my son's division with respect, I look at the young fighters in my son division, licking his chops. Because if you just think about the business of boxing, Jaleel ain't fighting Charlo. Jaleel ain't fighting Fundora. None of those guys want to fight young fighters. Any of them guys that's 32 or older, they're not looking to fight no young fighter for 800,000. They looking for $5 or $6 million payday. So I'm looking at the Xander Zayas, the Jonas Telez, the Jose Ramos Juniors, uh, the guys like Wendy Toussaint, uh, Brandon Adams. Those are the type of guys. They're in our rotation pool. So when somebody say a fighter that's young is not going to be a champion because look who he got to beat, they looking at the wrong people. Those guys ain't even trying to fight no Jaleel. They ain't trying to fight no Truck, no Jahai. So look at the era that he's going to have to fight. The Xander Zayases, the guys like Lil Vito, Jahai Tucker, Lorenzo Simpson. All of these young guys are young together. That's why I keep saying stop throwing 25-year-olds on the scrap heap because they lost to an experienced veteran. That veteran will retire before that kid do.
Yeah. Yeah. So who
Can I?
is he gonna get? Is he? Y'all got something on the horizon for Jaleel in the near future?
Yeah, we got something coming up. I always wait for Matchroom to announce what Jaleel got. I never jumped the gun, but we in camp, we training, and they got something coming up for us. And once again, I always shout out Matchroom because my son wanted to come back and fight in July or June, early June, but because of the injury, Matchroom said, "Son, you got cleared, but now get back in boxing shape." His injury, that's what they told him. Kevin Rooney, Eddie Hearns, that team said, get back in shape for him. Our advisors, they talked to them and they said, hey, he ready to get back in the ring? I respect him, said, get in shape for him.
That was a good move. I don't want to jump prize. You got anything for Coach?
Nah, go ahead. I'm doing something right now.
Coach, I know we offer a 160, but because all the action this weekend, I gotta ask you. We on the channel, we kind of have a lot of conversation about Janabek and even my brother Free, like based on his resume, he doesn't know his level. What's your thoughts on Janabek? And do you think any of these guys like a Vito or maybe even a Jahad Tucker, Troy Osley, do you think how far do y'all think how far do you think they are from challenging Janabek?
I think all of them are right there. I think Janabek's a great fighter. I can't put nothing but great on him. I don't think he looks to do anything that's not in a direction that's beneficial for his career. But I do think he would fight a young fighter. I do think he would fight a young potential champion. I think Jahai Tucker would be a great fight with him because Jahai Tucker is all motor. I think Lorenzo Simpson will be a good fight with him because Lorenzo Simpson plays the 25% game. He's only 25% away from you instead of some of the guys who are 100% away from you. I think the trajectory of Vito Milnicki is as high as his team want to push it. I think they've already figured out the path they want to go. And if that's on their radar, I think they'll take it. I don't think that there's a single young fighter who's not willing to fight anybody. I don't think. I think the teams get them in the mindset of this could be a dangerous fight. Let's stay away from this. You got to remember, Lorenzo Simpson, let's say 26 on down. Just say 26 years old on down to 20. They were in the amateurs together. Oh, a lot of them they didn't fight each other, but they were in the amateurs together. They know what each other's ability is from seeing them up close and personal. Some of them have been to the OTX and sparred together. Some of them had families like me. Take my son out of town. We worked together. My son sparred with Jahai and he sparred with Truck numerous occasions. So it ain't no fear factor. The fear factor is when you won't even spar with him. Like Devin's scared of my son. We gave him opportunity to spar with Jaleel. He wouldn't even spar with him. That's what I call a coward. But them young,
now, are you going? Can you attest that? Because we've talked before, Coach.
Bro, Bill
are you
said it.
Are you gonna put that on Bill or are you gonna put that on Devin? Because I know you remember you told me before you don't think Devin is no hoe. But
Listen,
Bill, of course, he gonna protect his commodity because I always bring up the Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia. He said
I'm gonna tell you.
he not gonna let you beat up on the champ.
Let me tell you this. I'm blaming it on both. I'm gonna tell you why. At the beginning, it was Bill, because Bill the one that called Leonard Ellerby and tried to get Jalil off his ass. But when Devin has been told about it, been confronted with it, he said no. Let me tell you something about my son. I can say no to some work, and we talking about just spawn. I can say no to some work, but let Jalil hear of it. Let him hear of it on the internet, like Jalil been talking about Devin over the years. Jalil been like, either we flying together or I'm flying by myself, but we got to do this.
But let me ask you
So-
this, Coach, before you finish, because I think you're being unfair. We heard Emiliano Vargas say that he wanted the Mason fight in the future, and Abdullah never answered him. What happens when we see that?
When I see that, then I go back to the promoters and they can't. Abdullah ain't scared of Emilio. Emilio ain't scared of Abdullah. So at that point, it's the promoters don't want to see it done. If I'm not mistaken, ain't they with the same promoter?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Abdullah's
so
top rank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both.
yeah, so if they both with the same promoter and they both saying let's get this scrap in, it's neither one of them. It's the promoter. That's all that is. And once again, that's where I go to that tier one, Emilio and Abdullah. If they both tier ones or one's the tier one and the other one's the tier two, why you can't make the fight? We see boxing make some of the most garbage fights and they pay top dollar for it. A dude that we know shouldn't be in the ring with another dude and he get a title shot. Why not make these young champions fight? Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns. Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, the first time they squared off as pros, one was 23, the other one was 25. And it didn't hurt their careers at all. It didn't hurt their careers at all.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
get
bad.
what you're saying.
That's
I
bad.
get what you're saying.
But that was an era in boxing where fighters had intestinal fortitude. Yeah.
I think that's missing. But I want to ask you. I want to ask you this, man. This is something that's kind of been on my heart, and I was thinking about, man. In Cleveland, in particular, there were 3 15-year-olds. One of them got unalived, and 2 of them end up going to jail. And it was all over. It was approximately $40. $40 is what happened. And I'm just wondering from your end, because I know you know about that life, formerly in that life. What happens when you see young kids die over something like $40, man? What is that about?
I'm gonna tell you what it's about. They haven't been taught the value of a dollar in comparison to the value of a life. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the person that they killed. I'm talking about their own life. You're throwing your life away for $40. That's what needs to be. I'm gonna tell you, if they taught our kids the value of a dollar, and then they taught our kids the value of life, then we wouldn't be in these predicaments. I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest things that I think is sad in our community. Remember when we were, well, I'm older than y'all, but remember when we was all young, all of us had a dog. All of us wanted a puppy, and somebody mama got you a puppy or your daddy got you a puppy. You took care of that puppy like he was gold because you valued life. If that puppy was sick, you was messed up in the head. My puppy's sick. Our kids nowadays don't even have pets. They don't even have a damn goldfish to take care of.
That's a good point.
we live in a generation where our kids are being taught about everything is about self. And us as parents, sometimes we're actually the culprit of that because we want our kids to have a better life than we had. We look at it, I ain't gonna beat my kids because my mother beat me. I ain't gonna make my kids eat this because my mom made me eat it. I ain't gonna do this or send them here because my parents did it. I ain't gonna make them wear these clothes because I gotta go get them better clothes because my mama did it. But if you're a responsible adult now who can take care of your family, provide a place for them to live and eat, did your parents make you better or are you making your kids worse?
I got one more question to that, and this is for like a father. What do you do when you have a child with a young lady and she's not letting you see the kids? How would you react to something like that? I had a good friend of mine who had that happen. He went in there. Unfortunately, her door got kicked down. He ended up getting arrested. How would you handle that better? What would be your advice to somebody who can't see their children?
I've been there with my older son, and I told him the most logical thing I could tell him. We gonna get a lawyer. We're gonna petition the court for us to pay child support. But along with that petition to pay child support, we're petitioning for visitation schedule. When they give it to her, every time she doesn't abide by it, you take her back to court and say she's violating a court order. By about the third or fourth time, then you file for custody of your child. Because now the judge is saying you're ignoring my court order and you've done it multiple times. Let's see if we can give you visitation and see if he lives up to the court order. We got to teach our kids that we got to battle with the book, not with our brain.
Yeah, because my cousin, man, when he kicked that door down, I was trying not to laugh, Coach. The man seen his daughter in 3 months, man. He just kicked the door down and they arrested him. He's back. He's out now, but I'll just be I'm trying to get some guys some good information on how to navigate that because, okay, what happens when you don't necessarily know how to get a lawyer or things like that? Is there any service that you ever heard of that helps with that?
You just answered your own question. What did you do when he kicked the door in? What did you just say you did when he kicked the door in?
You
said you laughed.
Yeah,
you said you laughed. You said you laughed, but it wasn't funny. Yeah, me and you have a lot of conversations, so I know your intellectual level is extensive. Right. Mm-hmm. So if your intellectual ability is extensive, after he got out, because you didn't do it before, you say, "Hey, champ, let's find some resources." Mm-hmm. And then you take him to help finding resources. Because I ain't mad at you because you're lying. But I am mad at you if you didn't take the next step and say, "Hey, that shit was funny, but now we gotta go find some resources because you need to be a father to your kid."
Right. I do got to do work on that because what I ended up doing was I got him with somebody to help him petition for child support. To petition for visitation. But the thing I never realized though is that women will keep their kids from the father. I never realized that.
Hey, BVO, I'm gonna say something. You ain't gonna like it. You ain't gonna like it, and a lot of young women gonna say, "Finally, somebody said."
Yeah.
Take the top 5% of earning black men out of the equation.
Yeah.
Because after 5%, the 95% are living a lifestyle that's exceedingly below $100,000. So they in the average men category.
For sure.
Why is it when a woman gets pregnant and has a baby, if the father buys tennis shoes and take him to the movie, everybody is saying he's a great dad, but the mother has to feed him, clothe him, and do everything under the sun to take care of that kid. But we give her grief when she say he got to pay me some child support. That's our problem. We got to stop let me tell you something. It ain't but 5% of the black women who getting child support that we going to say grieve. Because it ain't but 5% of the men that's making the type of money where they giving her $10,000 or more a month.
Right.
The average guy who is living at what they call the national median for income would be paying less than $200 a month for child support. So you mean to tell me that your mama, your grandmama, your aunt, his sister is defending him, giving her less than $200 when she say, "I need to take care of this kid"? But every single day, she is expected to feed that kid, to clothe that kid, to take care of that kid. Let me tell you something, and I hate to say it like this, but I'm gonna be real. The average man will not get a job at McDonald's to take care of his kid. But the average woman is willing to fuck, suck, and swallow to take care of her kids. You tell me how that makes sense. You tell me how that makes sense.
That's crazy. That was crazy.
You tell me how that makes sense, and then I'll agree with it. Because if she's willing to belittle and demean herself to take care of her kids, why is he not willing to belittle himself and go to McDonald's? Now, if you telling me he at McDonald's and he doing what he can, then I'm cool. See your kid. But if you telling me that he's not doing nothing, but y'all keep saying he need to see his kids for what? What is he going to empower them to do? Except for nothing, because he's doing nothing. We got to stop praising niggas for buying a pair of tennis shoes once a year. Yeah. We got to stop. Because
Over
we
the head
praising them guys.
bars.
We got to stop. I'm a grandfather. I got 11 grandkids, and I do everything under the sun for my grandkids. But I will tell you this: I've had talks with some of the daddies and be like, "Hey, Slim, you got to be a father to your child, Slim." And man, I'm doing my best, and I'll reverse that camera on him. If your child is starving, will my daughter fuck, suck, and swallow to feed that kid? The nigga say, yeah, she a good bro. If your child is starving, will you fuck, suck, and swallow to feed your kid? Man, fuck no. Okay, answer my question. And I ain't asking you to go to that extent. I'm asking you to go to McDonald's, get a job. I'm asking you to do that. See, we got too many young men who think McDonald's is beneath me, but being a deadbeat is okay because we've made deadbeat a okay thing in our neighborhood. We've made it okay. When I was coming up, that wasn't acceptable, champ. I know dudes that wouldn't give you no work if you didn't take care of your kid. Champ, I can't mess with you because he had a level of respect for himself, and I don't want to be associated to a bum.
Man, you spit some truth right there. You spit some truth right there.
Let me tell you, I ain't always had no money, bro. There's been times I ain't had no money, and guess what I do? I go make a cake. I have my kids. Some of my kids say I made a cake. I got whatever present I can do. I invite some of their friends to the park, and we have a party because that was the best I can do. We got to stop laughing at a man at the bus stop with two kids in the rain, but we praising the nigga with a Benz, but you ain't never seen his kids and he got 4 or 5 of them.
Dang.
We have made that okay in our community. Man, Slim a simp. Man, he out there in the rain with them kids. Where they mother? Why you ain't praising this dude? Why you ain't praising this dude? We make stuff okay in our community.
I work at a food pantry once a month, and I seen something, man, and everybody know BVO. It don't take much for me to get my eyes to sweat. And man, I seen this dude coming to pick up some food with tape on his van windows with his babies in the back. And I gave him some money. I gave him all the cash I had. And I'll never forget, like, I never felt so bad for somebody, man. That brother came to get some food with them babies and the car and have no windows on it, man. It was all taped up.
So where was his pride in feeding my kids or letting people see me with broke windows?
He had no pride. It was about the kids.
And so that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. If we start factoring in these young black men who are trying to do their best as fathers, as young boxers working jobs, we're changing. Do you understand? We as a people and sports in general always say we want to support the clean cut guy. We want to support the guy who's doing the upright thing. But they keep giving all the shine to the thugs.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's sad. It's a dude, I can't think of his name. He do a Thanksgiving dinner in Cleveland. Matter of fact, in Cleveland. And when I heard about the dude, I looked at him and seen that he was doing this. But you know, if somebody ain't tell me, I wouldn't have looked on YouTube because that's the only place I could find him. Why is the only place I can find this man who doing it on the working man's money? Because he said I want to give back to my community. Why he don't make the news? Why he ain't fly?
You talking about that brother Sean? I can't remember his last name. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Hey, why he ain't fly? Why he don't make the news? Why we don't respect him? Why all the dudes we look up to ain't say, hey Slim, I live in Cleveland. Let me go take this dude $100. Say this on the turkey drive.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We got to get a new sophistication. We got to get a new flag. We got to get that. Do you understand that the best blacks have ever done in this country was in the 1950s? When and if I'm off, somebody please correct me. But when we owned, blacks owned their own airline at one time.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that was the height of when we should have been at our worst, but we was at our best? And it all goes back to, at that time, we cared more about the last name. Now, everybody cares more about the first name. And if you don't understand that, when you care about the last name, you want to know how it affects your entire family. When you care about the first name, you only care about how it affects you. And that's what's destroying our community. Everybody is only how it affects you.
Man, that's deep. Go ahead,
That was
Dub.
tough right there. You said Brother B said you say that again, Brother B. I need that one.
About the names,
You
we
said your first name you only care about
we
yourself, but if you say that
the
again,
la- it, when you care about your last name, it's about how it affects the entire family. That was back then when we were doing our best and at the worst time for blacks. And nowadays, people care about the first name, only how it affects me.
that's
That's
bars
that's
right
a
there.
downfall.
That's crazy you say that, man. And they actually have a stat that they're doing. We have more wealth. We have more wealth as a black community in the doggone 30s through the 30s through the late 50s than we do now. I think that's the craziest thing in the world. But go ahead, Dub. I know you got something for us.
No, and I can't disagree with what the brother is saying right here. But I want to get a little bit back to boxing because we got a big, well, not a huge weekend, but we got some good fights coming up this weekend, some interesting fights. Coach, I want your opinion on Tevin Farmer versus Kid Austin. We had that fight coming up. It's going to be on the undercard of Jake Paul. I don't know why, but that's the undercard it's going to be on. What do you think about Tevin Farmer versus Kid Austin?
Uh, I like them both, but I think Tevin is going to beat him. I think Tevin got experience. Tevin been in bigger fights. I just think everything is favoring him. The only thing that I can say that could hurt Tevin is if that's the night that he shows he's old. That's the only thing I can see. With Kid Austin, I think him and his dad have done a great job, but I just don't think he's been in that. I just don't think he's been in that fight that prepared him for the fight with Tevin. Tevin's been in it with world rated guys, and I do at some point I do have to rely on the experience going into a big fight like that. It's not an 8 rounder. It's not a 6 rounder. This is a 10 round fight, and I think the experience will show through.
That's a hard fight, man.
Well,
Go
the
ahead,
second
Dub.
question. Oh, go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Dub, nah, you got your question. I just wanted to say this real quick. It's on the undercard because if you look at the full undercard, this is really a Golden Boy Promotions card in conjunction with MVP. But as you can see, they're doing good business. Golden Boy is doing business with Jake Paul. Even Oscar's kind of trying to promote Jake Paul a little bit. So that's why Floyd Schofield is on the undercard.
Yeah,
Cleveland, man. Just say Cleveland.
Zerto on that undercard as well. But the other fight I want to ask about this weekend, Coach, and this one is near and dear to my heart. I'm a Georgia boy, you know what I'm saying? So right next door, Alabama is right there. So I love Wilder. I'm a huge Deontay Wilder fan. Always have been, always will be. Deontay Wilder, he comes back this weekend. He's fighting a brother, and I say it respectfully, Terrell Herndon. You know what I'm saying? If you let my brother D Free tell you anything about him, he's gonna call the brother a fry cook. At the same time, in your opinion, do you think this is a good thing for Deontay Wilder to come back? Me personally, I continue to say I think he's done enough for the sport. I don't like the damage that he's taking up at his age, but hell, it's his job to figure out if he's gonna keep fighting or not. Who am I? What's your thoughts on Deontay Wilder making his return to the ring this weekend?
Get money. I ain't mad at nobody getting money. Look, bro. I came up in the '80s. I ain't mad at nobody getting money. I'm only mad because they ain't called me to get me on the card. Shit, they getting money. I ain't mad about nobody getting money.
Yeah, I heard he getting $3 million, man.
Man, he getting more $1 million on Saturday than I'm getting.
Yeah.
That's some good money, Doug.
But no,
think,
Coach B. Coach
think,
B,
Doug?
are you my fault? I just want to ask Coach B real quick. With that being said, are you not
Hey,
you're
can
not
y'all hear
worried
me?
about his health? Because I'm more worried about his health because I like the guy so much. I think he was great for the sport. And I'm just at the point to where I don't want to see him in there because of his health. Because I'm concerned about his health. What do you feel? Just $3 million, that's a lot of money, like you said, more than we make on Saturdays. But do you think it's wise for him to do that?
Who is he fighting?
Terrell.
Terrell Herndon.
He worked at Red
What's
Lobster.
the best win on Terrell Herndon's record?
I couldn't tell you.
Putting them lobsters in that hot water.
How many losses he got?
That's crazy. BVO.
Let me see. Give me a second. I'll let you know.
We don't know who
Was
it
it,
is,
was it three?
Coach.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Was it? I saw 3 or 4 losses up there, but I could be wrong.
And how many of them was by knockout?
Yeah, you're right.
All of
You're
them,
right.
every last one.
So
No.
what are we worried?
He got 5 losses, 4 by
Does he?
knockout. He got 5 losses, 4 by knockout.
Oh my God.
So when you say that, if Deontay sneeze hard, he gonna fall down.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So what? So why are you worried about his health when the
Because
only help I'm worried about is if he got a cold. I'm not worried about him getting hurt in that fight. Come on, man. Keep it real.
yeah, I feel you. I've been watching boxing a long time, and sometimes like I don't know. You right
Man,
though.
when he fought Zane, now that was the time to be scared because
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
was a big
and
time.
after I watched that means but then again, like you say, the man got 5 losses. He got stopped. You know, if Wilder sneezed, he liable to knock this dude out. So you're right about that. That'll ease my mind a little bit, but I still feel the way I feel.
Hey, Coach, man, why did he turn his back? That's what I always wondered about Wilder in that Zane fight. Why did he turn his back, man? I hated it.
Because he felt like it and his check was already at the bite. Because he felt like it and his check was already at the bite.
You know what I didn't know? I didn't realize that Deontay had been getting these $5 and $6 million paydays over there with Turkey and them. Man, he's been getting some money.
So once again, if I'm getting money,
yeah.
why you once again? Why you ask me how good my dinner was if you ain't gonna give me a better dinner? If you ain't gonna give me a better dinner, why you asking me how good my dinner was? That's just the truth. You know why I don't ask the average person how they doing when I walk by? They say, "Hey, how you doing?" I say, "How you doing?" You know why I don't say that?
Why?
Because on average, I really don't care. Same way to Deontay Wilder. Let that man get his money. We got dudes getting paid multi-millions of dollars, and we know they can't fight. We know what they're gonna do. We know they're gonna run around the ring. We know they're gonna try and do a motherfucking UFC takedown, and we still buy they fight. So if we still buy they fight, why not by Deontay? I'm not, man, please. Long as y'all supporting Devin Haney, y'all got to support anybody in boxing.
You go, man.
That's crazy.
Oh,
When
man,
we gonna see the son? When we gonna see the sombrero with Jaleel, man?
Oh,
sombrero, man. When
man,
come out with the Mexican flag and the sombrero?
Hey, we'll come out with that joint anytime. Make the money right. Make the money right. I respect all the Mexican fighters. When my son was a kid, if you ask anybody in the amateurs, you know what they used to call him? You guys, anybody who knew him in the amateurs, they called Jaleel the Black Mexican.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Yeah, they used to call him the Black Mexican in the amateurs. And once again, look here, man. I think we got more Latin blood in us than some of these dudes that been fighting for the USA all their amateur career. Then they turn pro and they the pride of Mexico. They the pride of Tijuana. Come on, man. Come on, man. You got dudes doing that don't even speak English. I mean, speak Spanish. You got dudes been fighting for USA boxing their whole amateur career. They turn pro. They the pride of Mexico. Come on, man. They the pride of the Dominican Republic. They the pride of Puerto Rico. Man, shit, if that's the case, I got 2 daughters from Puerto Rico. Shit, I might well be the pride of it too. I got 5 grandchildren, Puerto Rican. Yeah, anytime they want me to show them, I'll show them. Shit, my youngest grandbaby look like Canelo. She got motherfucking red hair. So once again, you go on any of my social medias, you'll see it. Once again, you know what? I'm gonna tell all black fighters.
Grandbaby, man. I did not know that. Yeah,
that's my granddaughter. That's my granddaughter. Bruh, look here. I'm about to say
I thought that was one of little friends.
Nah, that's my grandbaby. That's my grandbaby. That's my grandbaby. Once again, if half of these dudes can say they the pride of the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, you can't even fight a dude and hope you get national. If he didn't do his amateurs in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, he did his amateurs here. How the hell we gonna have 2 nationalities fighting against each other with that nigga from the U.S.? Cut that bullshit out. Man, cut that marketing plan bullshit out, man. Cut that shit out, man. Yeah.
Coach, I want to ask you this right here. We seen some unorthodox stuff happen. The last time Keyshawn Davis, when he missed weight against Edward De Los Santos, his brothers got hands put on him by Albright, and then they looked to go handle what happened in the ring outside the ring after the fight. What was your thoughts on the nonsense from Keyshawn and his team in that situation?
Young people make bad decisions. Young people make bad decisions. Young people need managers. Young people need advisors. Young people need an OG that they will listen to tell them, "Shaw, cut it out." Because if you look at that, you could tell who the oldest brother was. Kelvin came out there and said, "What are you doing?" Yeah, I mean, once again, just because you got talent and you can make money doesn't mean you're ready to be in control of your life.
That's a good point. Anybody got anything else for Coach?
I got something for Coach real quick. Coach, what's do you have do you have a pick for the Canelo Crawford fight, or do you lean in one way or the other?
Yep. Everybody know I'm a Canelo fan, but on this one, and I love Bud Crawford too. But on this one, I'm 100% with Bud Crawford. If you look at the fighters who Canelo struggles with, they can box and they got punching power. And Bud Crawford got all of it. He can box, he got punching power, he can switch up. He can give you so many facets and so many dimensions that I think this will be the biggest, strongest, best fighter that Canelo's seen. And this will also be the biggest, best fighter that Bud has seen. So I think they're both seeing something for the first time that they haven't seen.
Now, to piggyback off what you just said, Coach, I got to get your thoughts on Dimitri Bivol. Now, Bivol has beaten Canelo, an undisputed, and an undisputed, and Beterbiev also got the win over Zerto. Do you think Bivol is a top like 5 pound for pound? What's your thoughts on Bivol?
No.
Nah, right now, I have to say, based on his resume and what he's did, and you only can pick active fighters. If he's not number 5, he's right outside of it, just based on his resume. But in that same token, Canelo was daring to be great. Canelo ain't even a super middleweight. For real, he can make 160 if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you can't nobody talk shit about him going up to 175. That man was daring to be great.
They do it though. They do it. Ask Free. He was.
I brought up Bivol just to see from your opinion, and I want this on record. You believe that Terence Crawford is going to be the best fighter that Canelo has, but better than Bivol, or more of a challenge than Bivol?
Yes, and the reason I say that is because if you made Bivol and Canelo the same size, and you pick between the both of them, would you ever pick Bivol? Would you ever pick Bivol? If you could make him and him and Bud Crawford the same size, would you ever pick Bivol to beat Bud Crawford?
No. No.
So if that is the case, the only thing he beat Canelo on was size. That's the only thing he beat Canelo on was size.
Yeah.
So if you look at that, you got to give Canelo his props, just like you got to give Bud his. If you really look at it though, you got to give. I want to say, Berlinga, Munguia, Charlo. You got to get all their props for stepping up to Canelo, because they bit off a hell of a motherfucker, man. And anytime you go up there, hey, look here, I tell you this: if they offer my son a fight against, just in a fictional world, they offer him a fight against a 54 champion, a 60 champion, and a 68 champion. The only one I'm turning down is Canelo, unless it's just about money. I'm gonna fight the rest of them. I think my son has people,
man. You right?
Yeah,
you know, like the hurt people, man.
He a different. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you wanted to fight Canelo, you should have fought him before he fought Floyd, because he took the tape of the loss of Floyd and he mastered all that shit. And now he's dangerous. Now look at it. Early in his career, y'all can say Canelo was looking for knockouts, right?
Right.
In the second half of his career, he's just looking to hurt you. He wants you to survive. He just want to beat you up real bad. That's the sadistic people are not the people you want to mess with. Bud Crawford is another one. BVO, what I tell you, I call Bud Crawford the rattlesnake. That nigga dangerous from start to finish.
Yeah.
The rattlesnake. He dangerous. Look, he dangerous from start to finish. When you start listening to the tail shake, he already killed you.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah, sweet.
I never was worried about Canelo in the doggone face-off, but I was worried that Bud and it was gonna hurt Canelo at that face-off. I don't know about you,
man. Listen here. Let me be the guy. Look, let me be the guy to clean this up for you. Let me be the guy to clean this up for you. when one nigga making 70 million and the other nigga making 100 million, nigga, they not letting the bomb squad come throw red paint on even one of their shirts. They is not fucking that money up. Best believe when you making 70 and the other dude making 100, if he slip and fall, I'm gonna slide a pillow on his head. Oh boy, gotta keep you right. Hey, look, both of them is hiring security teams to watch out for the other guy because he don't think your security is enough. That money too high. That money too high.
You see Bud's
And
face?
them dudes
You
done
see
been in.
Bud's face?
Hey, I seen Bud smile and beat the hell out of a nigga. I seen Bud smile and beat the hell out of a nigga. Hey, if you go back to the fight when he fought my man from Philly, who was my man from Philly? I can't
Hank
think of.
Lundy.
Oh,
Hammer and
yeah,
Hank
Hank Lundy.
Lundy.
Look at it. Bud went up to that microphone and started laughing. He said, "Boy, I'm laughing because they don't know what I'm going to do to you." Hey, bro, and he did some vicious. So the game face for neither one of them, the game face for either one of them don't mean nothing because they already played the high stakes game before. They played the high. Look here, both of them don't went all in with a pair of deuces before and made another nigga forward.
Now, Coach, I gotta get your opinion on the extra weight for Crawford. Do you think that's gonna mess with him as far as his twitch, as far as his movement, anything?
I don't think I really don't think Crawford gonna come in at 68. I really don't think so. I think he's gonna come in somewhere around 66 and some change. I don't even think that he's thinking about coming in at 68. He's not a guy that relies on brawn. He's a guy that relies on talent and ability. Only thing he's trying to increase size on is his IQ. Your brother already. That's it. That's the only thing he's trying to keep his thing on. That's the only thing he's trying to keep his IQ high on. That's the only thing he's trying to keep his IQ high on.
Yeah.
Now, let me
These
ask you
guys
this,
at the
Coach.
top.
Have you ever seen like let for instance, is there a minimum that you can weigh in? So it's a 168 fight. Does Crawford have to be over 160?
I think he got to be within 5 of the weight class. Like he can't come in there. He can't come in there at 162 and Canelo at 68. No, that fight ain't happening.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
Appreciate that for the
yeah.
people. Yep.
But he don't have to come in there. Just think. Go back to Floyd. Floyd never came in at the maximum weight just because he had it. He came in at the weight that he felt the most comfortable fighting.
Yeah. Hey, on that note, I gotta say, as always, I'm gonna be probably talking to you soon. Appreciate you coming through, Coach, man.
Hey,
it's always
I love talking to y'all dudes all the time. Hey man, BVO made a picture of me. My wife cried, man. She loved that picture. She fell out laughing, man. So if
Yeah.
nothing else, he always make my wife laugh, man. And as far as the panel, I always like talking to you guys because number one, you're respectful. Number two, you talk with integrity. And number three, you respect everybody's opinion, even if it differs from yours. And you're teaching young men in general, not just black men, that we can have dialogue, we can disagree, but at the end of the day, we don't have to kill each other.
This is a picture that Brother Bernard is talking about.
Yeah,
So you
BVO is
got-
very clever, Brother
Hey,
B. He's
Bernard,
very, very
when
clever at that.
when he held that joint up and he said your age, it looked like it looked like the picture said, "Man, why you talking my age, man? Come on, man.
Hey
You talking
man,
my age?"
Well, you say happy birthday to the champ, man.
man, look, that dude hilarious, man. He did me wrong. He did me wrong, man. But hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Let me say one more thing. If people always get it confused, I'm gonna let it go. I have no issue with Bill and Devin. I've actually said millions of times that Bill should have been manager and trainer of the year one of those years that Devin beat Cambosa. He should have been. But I will also say my feeling in boxing is I can respectfully respect you, but when you get the saying slick shit and disrespecting me, and then I say, let's put your hands up and fight, and you say no, I lose respect for you. Not the respect of what you've done as a fighter, because I'll be the first one to tell you if Devin retired today, he has a Hall of Fame record. But I disrespect the fact that you don't respect the game enough to remember when you turned pro and you was calling out any and everybody. You went and sparred with everybody that'll give you work. But now you're at the position you are. You won't even give the young guy that you like talking shit about, you won't even give him the respect of giving him work in the gym. I ain't, he ain't got to fight us. Let Devin fight the best guys he want to fight to get the maximum money. I love to see a young brother rich. But what I don't respect is when you make statements that you aren't prepared to back up. And number two, let me tell you this. I respect Devin. You always hear me say that. I say my stuff about him, but I respect him. But if black fighters have not learned and understood by now, when you disrespect other black fighters, it's given the okay for promoters to disrespect them as well. So when you've made your financial point, remember somebody that was in a position that you started in, and they're trying to do the same thing. So if you ain't going to appease them with a fight, you ain't going to appease them with sparring. Don't disrespect them by always weighing in. And when they ask you to be a man, you refuse to be a man.
Hey, with that being said, man, as always, Coach Bernard brought something new that we didn't think about. And we'll see you soon, my man. I appreciate you and talk to you soon.
Anytime.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Peace, Coach.
On that note, man, great interview.
Yes.
Salute to my man Right Side. Salute to my man Prize.
Yeah.
D3. B3, what's left of him. We doing some big things. Tomorrow, we got Coach Ivan Robinson.
Yeah.
Mighty Ivan Robinson tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're going to have the trainer of the world champ. Hopefully the champ will come by. He didn't make no promises, but hopefully the champ will come by. WBO champion trainer Brian Norman Sr. So we're going to have Brian Norman Sr. We're going to celebrate on Wednesday. But check out tomorrow, man, because I love when we go in there with Coach Ivan. He's going to be eating his grapes. He's going to be counting. He's going to open up that mail. He's going to be sitting there like granddaddy, man. We're going to have a good time to talk some boxing, man.
Yeah.
You coming on tonight, Doug? Is it an interview tonight with CDK or is it Prize?
We got CDK tonight. You know what I'm saying? So thumbnail, please. And we got Prize tomorrow.
Yeah.
So thumbnail, please. And we're gonna have a great time, man. CDK, we got him tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern. You know what I'm saying? Prize, I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. I'm looking 10:30, one of those two times, but
I'll be up.
We'll get it together. And we're gonna have a good time with both of my brothers, man.
Indeed.
For sure. On that note, man, shout out. If you haven't already subscribed, man, go subscribe to B3 Picks, man. B3, good brother, man. You know, he'll eat the whole lot of donut, but he a good brother, man. Banned from all the dollar stores around the world. But shout out to my man B3. Check him out. And on that note,
wait, one more BVO. Real quick, don't forget to subscribe to Marky Dan as well. I don't want to leave him out.
Shout out to West Indian Mark. Shout out to D3. Oh, shout out to the Breakfast Box. Shout out to the Smoke Shop. And definitely shout out to Raycon. Appreciate everybody giving us opportunity. We got a new sponsor coming, so don't miss that. We're doing it big, man. And BVO got some great news today. Y'all keep me in your prayers, man, because God is doing some big things for us. So we going, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon everyday earbuds, the perfect base.